Hello dear students, welcome to my YouTube channel of Pharma e-learning. Today we are going to discuss about the one of the another important unit operation which is known as the crystallization. Let's try to understand what is the crystallization from the basics or the beginnings. As we know that the materials or the matter exists into the world into the three different forms, that is solid, liquid and the gas. As we know that the solid is having the fixed shape as well as the fixed volume, while in the case of liquid, liquid is having the fixed volume and they will occupy the shape of the container into which they are poured, while in the case of the gas, the volume and the shape of the gas that depends upon the container. So if you try to go into the detail of the crystallization basically deals with the solid material or the solid matters. Into this slide, the API, that is called as active pharmaceutical ingredients or the drug which is responsible for having the definite pharmacological effect or the action, is shown by this hexagonal blue diagram. So here this API is shown is over here. So now how this one hexagonal blue diagram or the that block shows the one drug molecule. Now this is going to be, let's say into this particular case there are the 6 drug molecules has been shown and they are going to be arranged into the form that is called as a random. There is no definite arrangement, so that form or that arrangement is known as a amorphous. While look at this, in this is form 1 and the form 2 into which this API is going to be arranged into the definite form. So this form 1 and the form 2, they are the crystalline form because they are arranged into this molecules are going to be arranged into the definite fashion or the definite form, and therefore the form 1 and the form 2 they are known as the polymorphs. Now if we are going to combine this hexagonal or this blue API molecule with the molecules like a solvent which is shown into this diagram by the gray triangle. So in this case, if this solids or the solvent molecules are going to occupy the space which is present between this API molecule, and when the solid forms contains a solvent, then it is known as the solvent. But if in the case of, let's say, the solvent is water, then these solvents are also known as the hydrate. Apart from this, let's say the API is occupying a definite charge on that. Into this light it is shown with the positive charge, and which is going to be combined with the counter ion which is having the negative charge. So there is a complex or that bond formation is take place, that generally the ionic bond formation is going to be take place. So into this case the API is in the form of salt, while let's say here shown by that green molecules or the green diagram, into which these green molecules are going to be combined with this API and they are forming a definite co-crystals or definite form, so that is known as a co-crystal. So basically the solids are going to be exist into either the amorphous form or the crystalline form, and which is known as the form 1 and the 2, or they can exist into the solvents or they can exist in the form of salts or into the co-crystals. Let's try to understand this particular the things into the detail by this flow chart, into which it is shown as a solid matter. The solid basically going to exist in the two forms, that's called the crystalline and the amorphous. Here it is known as the one another intermediate form that is between the crystalline and the amorphous, which is known as a liquid crystalline. In the case of crystalline form, if the single component or the only that it's shown in the previous diagram, that is, let's say the API, it's going to be arranged into a definite crystalline structure, they are known as the polymorphs. But if they are going to be combined with certain components, so there is a possibility is that either they will be the ionic or the non-ionic. If they are having the charge molecule and they are going to be combined with the oppositely charged molecule, and that's the bond of interaction or the bond which are formed, that is ionic bond, so they are going to form the salt. While in the case of, if we are going to add in any of the molecules, the molecules may be in the case of, let's say, either solvent or the water, then it will form the solvent or the hydrate. While if the molecule which is going to be add, that is like a sum of the co-former, then they will form the co-crystals. Each crystalline and the amorphous form has a definite advantage and the disadvantages. Let's try to compare and contrast both the amorphous solid with the crystalline solid. As shown in the diagram, the amorphous form, they do not have the definite geometrical shape, while the crystalline solids, they possess a definite geometrical shape. Amorphous solids have the wide melting range, while the crystalline solid has a sharp melting range. The amorphous solids are having the different physical properties into the physical properties, that is going to be in the different direction, they are going to remain same, while in the case of crystalline form they are different in the physical property to different direction. So that's why the amorphous solids are known as isotropic, while the crystalline solid are known as anisotropic. The amorphous solid are generally more unsymmetrical, while compared to the crystalline solid they are more symmetrical. Amorphous solids, they do not break at a fixed cleavage or the break point, while the crystalline solids are going to be break or the cleavage at a fixed cleavage or the break points. Now, after understanding of this all the things, so we can find that the solid is going to exist basically into the two different forms, that is called the amorphous form and the crystalline form. So let's try to understand what is the meaning of the word crystallization. As the crystallization is a unit operation, it is a chemical solid liquid separation technique into which the solid form which exists in either the atomic or the molecules, they are going to be organized or converted to the highly organized structure which is known as crystals. So we can say that crystallization is a process into which the amorphous forms are transferred into the crystals. Now, why we are forming the crystals? What are the advantages of the crystals over the amorphous form? So the main advantages of the crystals over the amorphous form will be there. They are in the purest form. They are the most stable. They are elegant in look. They are excellent in the flow, and they have the fixed or the definite properties like melting point, lattice structure, etc. So in another word, if I want to define the crystallization, then I can say that the solute which are present into the liquid solution, which are undergoing the mass transfer, and in the mass transfer and the end product which is produced is a pure crystalline form or the pure crystalline phase will be there. Now, why we are carrying out the crystallization? What are the objectives? The objectives of the crystallizations are enumerated into this slide. The first one is purification of the drug. The crystals are 100% pure compared to the amorphous form. Another, they possess the better processing characteristics. As for example, they have the good flowability, and because of the good flowability, they have the excellent compressibility. The next objective maybe this, that will be the ease of handling. We can handle it very easily. They have the good stability. The stability in terms of they have the good chemical, physical stability also. Because of the crystalline form, they have the good compressibility. We can find the drugs or the dosage form which are having the improved bioavailability, and we can also convert that particular drug form into the sustained result formulation also. Now into the previous slide we were talking about the word crystallization. Now try to understand the word of crystal. Now what is a crystal party? Crystal is basically a solid particle into which the structure unit are arranged into the definite geometrical pattern or the lattice, which is known as a crystal lattice. So I can say that like a solid particle exists in the two form, either it may be the amorphous or it may be the crystals. So now try to understand the word what is a crystal lattice will be there. As shown into this diagram, what I can say crystal lattice is a fixed orderly internal arrangement of the particles into the three-dimensional, which may be also known as space lattice. As shown in this diagram, there are the three types of crystal lattice. The first one is called as a BCC, that's called as a cubic body center. Another one is called as a FCC, that's a cubic face center, and the third one that is called as a SCP, that is called as a hexagonal cubic face center. So here it's shown in the first diagram. This crystal is occupying a cubic shape, and it is having that shown in within this diagram. You can show that how the molecules are going to be arranged into this each of these three. Now let's try to understand the word crystal structure. What is a crystal structure? As we look at the diamonds look like a definite shape. It is elegant in the looking, it is hard in the nature. Same thing, the crystals of any of the API is having the unit cell. Now what is unit cell? Unit means single. So unit cell is the smallest portion of the crystal lattice which which is going to be observed throughout the three-dimensional pattern of the entire crystal. As shown in this diagram, this is a unique cell, and this is a single one. And look at the second diagram into which this is a one unit cell, this is the second one, the third one, fourth one, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the eighth. So this unit cell is going to be repeated over and over into the three-dimensional to give a definite lattice structure or the crystal structure. Now, how you can characterize a unit cell, because each unit cell is going to be different in the each of the crystal, and that try to give you the different crystal geometry. So the unit cell is going to be characterized by the certain parameters. Basically, there are the three parameters. The number one, that is called as the phases. Phases means that is the planes which are bounding the crystal. So there's a one phase, there's another, there's a third, and there's a fourth. So these are called as the phases. The another parameters, that is another one is that's called as axial length. The axial length means, as for example, as on the diagram, this is a one point that you consider like atom or the molecule. This is the another one. So the distance between this both the points or between the two atoms, that is considered as axial length. Into this diagram show like a B and the C. Another one is what called as the axial angle. The angle which is present between these two perpendicular intersecting axes. That is, let's say in this call, this is between the C and the B, that's shown by the alpha, A and the C, that's called by the beta, and that is shown between the A and the B, that is by the gamma. Now, due to having these different parameters of these unit cells, there are the different type of crystal systems are existing in the world, that are basically shown into this slide. That is, 6 types of the systems are existing into the world. The first one that's called isometric, the another one hexagonal, the next one is a tetragonal, another one is orthorhombic, the next one after this one it's shown in the diagram, that is monoclinic and the triclinic. In all of the 666 system, you find that the axial length is going to be vary, and apart from that, again the axial angles are going to be vary, and this will lead to the generator of the different crystal systems will be there. So into this video, I try to give explain you the basics of the crystallization and what is the importance of the crystals and how the crystals are going to be evaluated or characterized. So if you like my video, please share it and subscribe to my channel for the further upcoming videos on the crystallization and the another unit operations and the another topics. Thank you.